So we had a bond hearing today and a PC hearing today. I think that the relevant things that were said today that I thought were fascinating were that it took 3 months to build a case. And I think the reason for that was because the statements that were given on the evening that this occurred were very questionable. I think the way that the statements were made, what allegedly was witnessed and what wasn't witnessed, I think gave great pause to the FBI. The FBI doesn't take 3 months to arrest someone if they believe everything that was said on the night that it occurred. What didn't we hear today? What we didn't hear today is there is no contract, this mystery contract. They have no contract. They have no video of this alleged signing of a contract. They have no guns. They have no jewelry. They have none of that physical evidence. What they have is they have allegedly 5 individuals, one of them being a very well-known individual that is allegedly cooperating with the government and making these allegations against my client and many more.
Yo, face! Show your face, please, with sugar on top!
Now it looks like we got more information pertaining to this Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane situation, where it's being alleged that Pooh Shiesty, along with Big30, would rob Gucci Mane and his team in the process of forcing him out of his contract with 1017. We've been hearing a bunch of stories back and forth where everybody and their mother swears they have this information that this or that one don't got, or how close they are to the situation, or know something that this or that person don't know. But at this point, we should just wait until the investigation is over and they actually tell us what's going on, because we don't know what to believe. Some say Gucci Mane told, some say he didn't, some say he was forced to tell, and it's starting to seem like Gucci is just being forced to do everything. First he was forced to sign a contract, now he's forced to cooperate. What else is he going to be forced to do next? I don't know, man. Seems like Gucci Mane has just been in a whole bunch of forceful relationships. Anyway, shout out to 1090 Jake, because according to him, he has never before seen paperwork in regards to the case, in which I think is the incident report that would debunk a lot of the rumors and claims that Gucci Mane did in fact tell. He also says the story about the off-duty police officer being the one that seen everything and reported it is bullcrap. It was the chef not only cooperating with police, but he also named everybody by their names to police and let them know exactly what went down. Now, for y'all that don't know, just yesterday Pooh Shiesty was also denied bond and bail and was ordered to stay in jail until further notice, despite everyone thinking that he was gonna be released. In which I don't know how, because like I told y'all before, him getting into any police contact while being on federal probation is a no-no, and it's a violation period, especially when you're being accused of committing a crime. A crime in particular that's already similar to a crime that you're actually already on probation for in the first place. Now, Shiesty lawyer is shooting down all the allegations and claims there was never no contract being forced to sign, never no firearms drawn, and no jury was taken by his client Pooh Shiesty. But as y'all know, these guys get paid very good money to act oblivious no matter what the situation is. So let's get into it, y'all. I'll leave a link to the actual video in the comments so y'all can go check it out. But in the meantime, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hype and like the video so we can get into the algorithm. And if you not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it.
It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we got a major update in the Gucci Mane versus Pooh Shiesty case. I have new paperwork that hasn't been seen, and we're gonna break it down. So by now, everyone that's been tuned in should know that everyone involved has been denied bond and is being held by the feds. A picture of Big30 on the jail yacht has already hit the internet, and Pooh Shiesty has hired a powerhouse of a legal team.
Not to mention, right, I was saying this the other day about this case. The fact that nobody has bail or bond, right, especially, let's just say the father, who played, I guess, the least role in this, right? Or even Big30. But the fact that nobody has bail should tell you something.
There is no contract, this mystery contract. They have no contract. They have no video of this alleged signing of a contract. They have no guns. They have no jewelry. They have none of that physical evidence. What they have is they have allegedly 5 individuals, one of them being a very well-known individual that is allegedly cooperating with the government and making these allegations against my client and many more.
Now pay attention. You see what he said? One individual that's cooperating against his client being Pooh Shiesty, in which I think we all know who he's talking about. And also, y'all, for y'all that don't really know how the system works or never been through it, did you see how convincing he looks? Like, even when their client is dead wrong, this is how they look. Sometimes you just don't know what to trust. But it's interesting to see how he goes further with this, because there is evidence on social media that jewelry was in fact taken that did belong to people that was with Gucci. Why? Because they put it on social media.
Now, clearly his lawyer is sending shots at none other than the infamous Gooch, and I have new paperwork with some details y'all are gonna wanna see. But first and foremost, there are people out there spreading a narrative that Gucci said nothing. He was with an off-duty cop who was his security, and that's who snitched. No, this is coming from one of the biggest Gucci fans since I was 15. Gucci snitched. According to the federal paperwork, he had 2 security officers, one of which stayed in the lobby of the building, the other staying in the vehicle, and neither of the 2 ever entering the recording studio. After Gucci was robbed and brought out of the booth and into the control room where everyone else was getting robbed, his security guard who was in the lobby saw Big30 blocking the door. That's when both guards attempted to push through the door, only to see Pooh Shiesty's gang with more Drakes than that lookalike contest. So in reality, the security didn't actually witness any of the robbing or kidnapping. They just saw commotion at the end and guns drawn.
Oh. So see, now, whether he's telling the truth or not, based on the paperwork, that's what he's reporting. But if that security guard who they say was the off-duty police officer, if he didn't physically see it and he's not the one that reported it, then who did? Not to mention, now that we know that, that means that honestly, Gucci wasn't in no bind to tell. He wasn't in no bind to really cooperate. But 2 things, like I told y'all before what Poetic Flacco said. If he did in fact sign that contract, 9 times out of 10, that means Pooh Shiesty is going to be out of the contract with 1017 if he doesn't say that he signed the contract under duress, right? So maybe that's why he had to go the route of telling, because if not, he'll be out of a whole artist. Or maybe it could have been that ring that was taken that we said was valued at almost $2 million, because he damn sure wasn't going to take that loss.
But let's look at the finer details. I was able to obtain the incident report from the Dallas Police Department, which states they responded to a robbery in which suspect Pooh Shiesty had the complainant at gunpoint and took the complainant's property. The suspect description would say he was wearing black pants, a black shirt, and a black ski mask, while the victim was none other than Roderick Delantic Davis, aka Gucci Mane.
Ah. So, for y'all that don't know, when it says the complainant, basically the person that complained, right? That's the person that put the complaint in. Now, if they're saying Gucci Mane is the victim, right? The robbery victim, and he's the one that complained, or he's the one that reported it, what does that tell you?
Now, the victim-suspect relationship would say they were acquainted, and the incident report would also name the 2 other victims with Gucci. Now again, everyone was saying, oh, they robbed the security who was a cop and that's who snitched. Shut the fuck up. MM in the federal paperwork is confirmed to be Matthew Marzal, Gucci's personal photographer. And
now also, that's one of the ones that did cooperate, and he gave up a lot of information. Right? Aside from Gucci or them saying that Gucci's the one that cooperated, we know for a fact that the cameraman was the guy that actually told as well. And what do you expect from a guy that's a cameraman? He's a civilian. He got nothing to do with nothing in the streets. What did you expect him to do?
And BP is confirmed to be 46-year-old Brandon Putman. Now things get even more interesting here. BP is a private chef closely associated to Gucci Mane, as he can be seen not only wearing a 1017 chain, but sporting 1017 clothing as well as attending many events such as Gucci's birthday. But things go back way further than that. BP is one of Sun Valley's originals. Sun Valley being the old apartments located in Zone 6 on Atlanta's east side of Boulder Crest Road. A hood Gucci has famously rapped about for years, and the same hood OJ the Juice Man came up out of, which is why they'd all be pictured together. BP would be tagged in old photos of Gucci in the hood, showing this wasn't just a personal chef, this was a very close friend of Gucci, possibly considered family. And in that same photo, BP would comment classic, to which someone replied, "Not one rat or coward among us." Well, BP would also make the news back in 2010 after Clayton County and Fulton County authorities seized over 300 pounds of marijuana valued at $1.7 million, while seizing almost $200,000 in cash, multiple vehicles, and a gun. So BP wasn't just anybody, he was a
real nigga, man, but you know.
But inside of that music recording studio, he'd get his chain snatched, his pockets ran, and BP would identify not one, not two, but 4 of the suspects by name and Instagram handles.
Damn. There you go. There you go. Or see, you know what's crazy? All that real stuff goes out the window in certain situations, right? Everybody like to claim they real, they this, they that, until they put to the test when their integrity is tested and they're put in a situation where it's like, either I take this loss or I gotta offer information. And the sad part is everybody say, oh, well, you know, Pooh Shiesty crashed out. Why would he do something like that? Think about it. He's thinking these guys are real street dudes. He's assuming that if this happened, they're gonna keep it street. And rightfully so. I know everybody may say he's a crash out, he's this. I get it. But as crazy as it sounds, street rules apply to street guys. The problem is, all that code and stuff in 2026 is null and void. Here you have Gucci and his associates. A guy who was sitting there making millions or whatever he was making when he was dealing, allegedly, them drugs. Yet you have him sitting there identifying these guys by their names and Instagram handles. Why didn't he keep it in the street?
Now let's talk about Gucci. The incident report would state the responding officer met with complainant 1, Roderick Davis, and the 2 other victims who stated they were robbed at gunpoint by 6 or 7 unknown suspects wearing black attire.
Once again, the complainant. Who's that? Gucci. What did he do? Complain. To who? The police.
So this is stating Gucci was one of 3 suspects who told police he was robbed. Now the actual statements have been redacted under Texas law, but police were told exactly what was taken by who. Gucci told officers he was robbed of $3,600 in cash, a blue and white Bulgari watch valued at $250,000, alleged to be the same watch gifted to him by his wife for his birthday, and his wedding ring worth $50K, while his earrings were worth another $250,000, meaning Gucci was robbed for a total of $553,600.
See what I'm saying? Now also, you heard what they said. He took the wedding ring and they took the watch, the same watch that his wife gifted him. So these are 2 things that held sentimental value. So to me, honestly, it was more than just that contract, like I've been saying for the longest. It was the contract as well, but they took not only his wedding ring, but that watch. And he said the wedding ring was only $50,000. I don't know why Google says $2 million. Maybe it's just bullcrap, but it did say $2 million. Even if it's $50,000 for a ring, that's pretty crazy. But at the end of the day, it's more than just the price. It's also the value that it holds.
BP got for his 1017 pendant worth $20K, and the cameraman got hit for his Rollies and Louis worth around $96,000 total.
Jeez.
So in all, Shiesty is made off with over $600,000 worth of shit. Now, how would the police know exactly what was taken from Gucci? Because he told them. Y'all really think Gucci security was in a whole nother area of the building that didn't see shit and he's gonna know exactly what got taken from Gucci and the exact value? Or do y'all think Gucci was standing there whispering to his security, telling him what to tell the police so he wouldn't be considered a rat? All in all, it's looking bad for everyone in this situation. Gucci told, Pooh Shiesty them facing life, and crazily enough, none of the evidence has been recovered. No guns, no jewelry, nothing. On top of that, apparently nothing has been found on video. So this whole case is built on statements, meaning Gucci and his team will have to see this through and fully cooperate to get justice. Now again, this paperwork is aligning with the federal paperwork saying Gucci cooperated, and it's destroying the false narrative that people put out there of Gucci didn't say nothing. His off-duty security officer, police, whatever, is the one that said everything. I mean, it's complete bullshit. And the funny thing is, the people saying it, Gucci don't even know y'all. Y'all are just saying it because y'all can't believe it, because y'all don't want to accept it, because y'all been listening to Gucci for so goddamn long, it just hurts y'all's hearts.
Well, not totally like that, right? Because the people I heard saying that narrative are the same people that claim they know people within Gucci's camp and they was told this, right? So it's not just like somebody is just making this up. We're going based off what we're being told from people who claim to have some type of affiliation with Gucci and the people around them. And rightfully so, because these are the same people that broke the story before it became headlines. So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. You believe them because they did break this out before everybody said it. But then again, he's saying that, no, don't believe them. That's not true.
But the paperwork is the paperwork. Gucci identified Pooh Shiesty, told the police everything Pooh Shiesty was wearing, told the police everything that was taken off of him, and the value of what was taken. Now, like I said, at this point in time, no piece of evidence have been recovered. This case is entirely built on statements, but you don't actually need to recover anything to convict somebody. If somebody is willing to say you did something, that's enough to get you convicted. That was enough to get me convicted of armed assault with a firearm. Like that was my charge. There was no evidence. They never found the gun. They did a whole search warrant. They didn't find shit, but somebody went to a grand jury and said I pointed a gun at them and attempted to rob them. And that was enough for me to get charged, and I ended up pleading out in that case. Same shit here, but Gucci and his team are gonna have to fully cooperate. And because this is a federal case, they're gonna get subpoenaed. They're gonna get subpoenaed, and if they refuse it, they're gonna find themselves in some trouble. This isn't a situation that you can just make go away. Statements were already given. This became a Fed case. The feds have investigated, they've indicted, they're deciding not to release any of the suspects, and they're gonna take it all the way. So we're just gonna have to wait and see how this case plays out. But hey, let me know y'all's thoughts.
All right, y'all. Now, he does have a few points when it comes to the situation, right? And here's the thing. They're definitely going to get subpoenaed. They're not going to be able to retract their statements because the feds already did what they did. They already went as far as not releasing these guys and also indicting them. So they're not just going to drop that. This is not the state. These are the feds. But also, not to mention, if they decide they don't want to testify or do whatever, in which the only person I could see doing that would be Gucci, because the cameraman, he doesn't care, right? They said all his Rolexes was taken. So you think this man's gonna sit here and basically say, oh no, I'm not, that's $96,000 worth of his Rolexes. He's definitely telling everything he knows. So it becomes a thing where even though they don't have evidence, it's gonna have to be statements, it's gonna have to be things that line up, and y'all know when feds do their investigation, whether they got the weapon or not, they go hard. And it's hard to beat the feds. This is not the state. So it's gonna be interesting to watch what happens here, because like they said, they don't have no evidence, they don't have no firearm or anything right now. So let's see what they pull out the hat, unless they end up finding something or having some type of credible evidence, whether surveillance, audio, who knows. We just gonna have to wait and see, y'all. This is definitely getting crazy, but y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm gonna keep on dropping. I'm out. Are you tired of a bunch of social media gurus promising you results with their course, but all they do is take a bunch of information off YouTube and Google, then sell it to you? Well, look no further. Our YouTube Tips and Tricks Masterclass course comes equipped with SEO tips and tricks, along with methods we use to growth hack our YouTube channel. It also includes step-by-step ways to publish a video before uploading to guarantee a great SEO score, therefore your videos can rank and be shown to a bigger audience. Views and subscribers don't come by luck, and just how YouTube have an algorithm, you should have one as well that can guarantee you results. We doing websites and softwares we personally use to generate money creating Faces YouTube channels. If you also would like to skip the process and just buy other pre-built accounts, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, we also threw that in there for you too. We went through trial and error, so you don't have to. Click the link in the description or the comments and get started today.